guys, it's that time again where we gather around the Holler Goblin and we talk about paranormal, extraterrestrial, cryptid, unexplained in general, and glitch in the matrix stories. We also do stories here that are not paranormal related and are just generally strange, which I think I kind of already said that, but it's fine because everything has to be repeated here on TikTok over and over, so we're good. We are ready for you. If you have a story, feel free to hop the box. The box is open. Everybody keep tapping the screen. Get us out there into the TikTok algorithm. Get some likes going. More likes means more people, means more ghost stories. Thank you, Spiritual. I think your name is Spiritual. Appreciate that. And my lovely co-host here, Chris. If you guys like horror stuff, you definitely want to check him out, give him a follow, send him some love. We also have a subscribe option here on the screen somewhere. If you want to become a subscriber, you get automatic access to the Discord. It's members only. Very fun. We do a lot of cool stuff over there. We do little mini streams. We all get together and hang out and chat. Let's see, what else? I don't have my notes pulled up. I have notes for this because I can't always remember it all off the top of my head. You also get emojis, and I have a new emoji that I want to try out. This is, we've got a lizard person emoji. I have to tap like 20 buttons to get to the comment section. So you guys, if you are subscribers, feel free to spam the chat with subscriber emotes. How does the witch look? Does she look okay? Because, thank you, Harry.
Looks pretty cool.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes if there's a lot of detail in the image, it's hard to make an emoji out of it. So I was a little bit worried about her, but the Sleestack / reptilian looks pretty good, I feel like.
Yeah.
So now we have a lizard person emoji, guys. Very exciting. I know sure. Tina's going to like that. Hopefully Tina pops in. Is she already here? I haven't seen her. But, yeah. So those are for you, Tina, if you're here. And we have our first guest. Let's see what is up with them. Hello, welcome.
My name is Ava.
Hello, Ava.
Welcome. Do you have a spooky story for us?
Yes. Don't know how scary, but at least it's true.
Awesome. We'd love to hear it.
Okay. So when I was a child, around age 9, growing up in Colorado, I was sleeping in my bed, just a normal summer night. And then I was like woken up, and in my door, I saw 2 people, but they were not people because their skin was translucent and inside their body, kind of like a jellyfish. It was like this goo and they had a skeleton, and it was such a fright that and that's all. I woke up, and for the longest time, I thought it was a dream, right? Because, has to be a dream. And then I just went on another TikTok live, and they say, he said he called himself the Commander. He had a podcast, and he said, I saw a light being. I say, that's creepy. Also, why do you call yourself the Commander? And then he say, he's a seed from Mars. And then I left. I looked it up online, and now I'm like, maybe I did see something. And that's my story. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is it Ava? Thank you, Ava. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming up. Mm-hmm. All right.
That's
short
wild.
And sweet. Yeah, short and sweet and to the point. Very cool. We got our next guest, Spiritual.
Hello there.
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
I've watched your show for quite a while now, but I never got up and spoke. But I figured I'd probably share what's going on with me lately. Well, the house that I live in is definitely haunted. A year ago, my other half woke up and there was like a tall shadow figure in the bedroom near the closet door. And we often hear like little clicks and noises in the room, and sometimes it feels like something's on the bed. And it always seems to be this time of the month around the full moon, the 3 days prior and the 3 days after. A month after that, I started writing journals down about all this and the dates and the times and the moon phases and stuff. He said that there was something standing near the bedroom door, and it looked like a guy that was carrying a basket that was flat and round, and then it had eggs in the basket. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of creepy. But then back in the fall, around October, he said that there was like almost like an orb-like opening. So I'm guessing like maybe a portal. And around it, it kind of looked like hazy, swirling mist around the circle part itself. And he described it as being higher than the ceiling of the bedroom. And the next day after that, he said that we felt like the room was really heavy. And I was laying down and I eventually got to sleep, and he woke up because he couldn't sleep. He just felt something in there. You just feel like it's right there and it's heavy. And he said something popped up for a brief moment when he was walking by, because I had the doorway open, and he said it looked like Dobby from Harry Potter. So now I'm creeped the hell out because I don't want to see anything like that in my room or anything. And I mean, he's, a legitimate person. I mean, my old man's, if anything, a contrarian to all of this. But then yesterday morning, I'd gone to bed and it was around 1:00, and he sat up and he goes, "What the F is that?" And I said, "Oh God, what?" And he said at the end of the bed, it looked like if you were to take a piece of chalk on a chalkboard and lay it down sideways and go up and try to draw with it that way, that there was like a shape of something and it looked like it was holding a tray. And I don't know, there's just something going on in this whole house, and I was in there trying to cleanse it and everything else, and I don't know what's going on. It's creepy.
Yeah, that is creepy.
But, I mean, we do live in the Mohawk Valley, so, I mean, I suppose, we've got a lot of activity just on the grounds itself from all the fighting with the Indians and stuff in the past, or the indigenous people. But we've got, crop circles were up here on the hill in Mohawk in, like, the early 90s. And we saw, like, what looked like a pterodactyl in, like, 82. It's all stemming around the area of like Vickerman Hill and Mohawk. Bigfoot's over in Bridgewater. Everything's like about 15 minutes from each other. It's just creepy. But there are lots of stories around here.
We get a lot of pterodactyl stories in here, right, Sarah?
Really?
Yeah, we
Pterodactyl
do, actually.
sightings? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, that's interesting because what my mom and I saw, I was only 13 at the time. It didn't look like a thunderbird or anything else but a pterodactyl, and it flapped once with its wings and it just glided. It wasn't like a flap, 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 just a one flap and just kind of gliding. It was really bizarre. Another story that I have that I talk about in my lives is back in, I don't know, around 2011, 2012. And Clayville, New York is next to Mohawk. Like I said, everything's 15 minutes apart. I had gotten done DJing, and as we were coming back in the truck, all of a sudden my other half yells, "What the F is that?" And he's trying to stop the truck, and we had a big trailer in the back, and something dropped down on the windshield. and it blocked out the light in the middle of the country, way up on a hill. And it looked, when it started to back off away from the windshield, it looked like it had like bat wings. We couldn't really see much because it's in the middle of the country. It's pitch black, and it was blocking out most of the headlights. And then it kind of went up, and it lifted back, and it was bent at the knees, but its legs were shiny like peacock feathers, but they were like silver. And it was just gone. It just lifted right up and was gone. So it was like bat wings, no feathers. And then the knees were bent. They were kind of silvery and shimmery. And then it just tilted back and it just went straight up. And that's about it. But yeah, we've got tons of stories from around here.
That's really neat. We had a lady on probably about a month ago now who had a really similar experience to that. She said she thought it was a Jersey Devil because of where it took place. And we were asking her, like, do you think maybe it was a Mothman? But she's like, no, it was for sure the Jersey Devil. But it sounded a lot like that. It kind of reminded me of her story a little bit, your experience. But that's really interesting. And yeah, we get stories like that so often.
That's good. I try to get people to talk in my room, and nobody really has many stories except paranormal, which I could go on endlessly with that, but I won't do that tonight. But I think your show is absolutely wonderful.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for letting me up here.
Yeah, absolutely. Come back anytime.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Lodge, yeah, you've got to get over in the Discord and hang out with us. I think you're there.
Yep. I sent him
Awesome.
a link.
Okay, thank you. So just to answer a couple of questions I saw in the comments, someone was asking why you have to have 200 followers to come up. I think their name was Bonbon or something. Sorry, I just got a glimpse at your question. That's TikTok rules, not my rules. That's just how it is here. It used to be 1,000, and luckily they lowered it to 200. So it's actually really great that they lowered it. But yeah, if you have 200 followers, you can come and join. You cannot cam up if you only have 200. You have to have 1,000 to be able to use your camera. I'm pretty sure, unless they've recently changed that too. But also, if you want to talk paranormal talk with us, you can hit the subscribe button and join the Discord. There's a ton of us over there from this community. It's also a great way to support the channel if you like what we do here. And you get like all of the perks and everything. And we do like little chats together, like little mini streams in the Discord that's just for members. So it's a ton of fun, and it's definitely something you might want to check out if you like the stream. So do consider that. And in the meantime, everybody tap the screen, send some hearts, please. The more hearts means the more people, means the more ghost stories. And we want to get some ghost stories in here. And interesting information here, Chris. You know how we're always kind of laughing about how 11 to midnight, it's slow. And then midnight to 2, it's out of control and we can't get to everybody. Right. So basically there was another creator, like a big creator the other day that I was watching, and they were talking about that, about how it takes like 30 to 45 minutes for everybody to get the notification and for it to like kind of push you out. So that's why, that's the reason why that we have that issue. But we usually still do pretty good, you know, despite the slow hour. But so the more hearts we get, the higher the heart thingamabob counter goes at the top, and that gets us out there to where we get on the FYP and people can come and join the stream. If you have any of these types of stories, paranormal, extraterrestrial, cryptid, unexplained, glitch in the matrix, or just spooky in general, feel free to hop in the box. The box is open right now. You can come straight up. We want to hear your spookiest spooky story, the story that scared you the most, the one you think about at night before you go to sleep. That's the story we want to hear. So come on up. And a Rougarou story. I would love to hear a Rougarou story. Or a Lugarou story. There's 2 different kinds.
What is that? I'm not familiar.
They are basically dogman. Both of them. They're just from different areas. Yeah, and they have a little bit of different lore behind them. But yeah, the common consensus, at least as far as I know, is that they're pretty much dogman. And I think my cats are destroying the house. I may have to I don't know, go pick up broken glass here in a minute, but we'll deal with that later.
Don't worry, I got you.
Cool. All right, guys. Somebody hop in the box and tell us a spooky story.
Don't be shy. Oh, there we go. Hello.
Oh, is it not connecting?
I don't think so.
Brother Jamal, I'm going to drop you. Come right back. Re-request. Come on up. We had a little bit of a connection issue there. We always have a little bit of glitchiness here and there on the stream, so that's to be expected, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's a full moon tonight.
Yeah, there is. I was out walking and it was up. It was really pretty. I tried to get some pictures of it.
First time I'm in this church to do that, it started cutting off.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, good, excellent. Yes, I have a story. Yeah. This is when I was in Yucatan, Mexico. I was out in a rural area in Mexico because I'm a bishop, and I was out in the church closing, and I remember out by myself just closing, and it was late at night. It was like 12:45 at nighttime, and I remember being in the church by myself, and when I was in the church by myself closing, what happened was I was playing the piano. I was playing the liturgical hymns. And when I was playing the liturgical hymns, it felt like somebody was walking behind me. And I felt like somebody bumped into me or something like that. So I got off the piano. And when I got off the piano automatically slammed itself and it started playing. And then the candles where the altar at, it blowed out. And then I remember seeing some kind of bishop, but he was in a clergy robe. It was very strange, different, but the cross was upside down, but he just walked through the wall, and I took my glasses off. I was like, I must be tired or something. And I just started walking around the church and checking everything, and I heard some noises. When I started hearing noises, the door got open, and when it got open, I just seen some indigenous people right in front of the door. And I still remember that guy. He was kind of like an old man, and he had no shirt on or nothing like that. And he just looked at me, and he just started walking forward. And when he walked forward, he stopped and then walked backwards. And I went direct to him, and I just started yelling at him with the cross and stuff like that. And I was like, I got to get out of this church real quick. This is too much. And what happened was I ran outside because I was like, what was that? You know, when I went outside, what happened was something pushed me. And I went back in, the door slammed in front of my face. And next thing you know, when I tried to go back in the church, the door got locked. And when it started getting locked, I was trying to get back in, and something got real hot on my hand when I opened up the door. And then after that, I just walked around and just ran away. And when I ran away, I still seen that man. And then I tried to use the phone, and my phone wasn't working. And I just started seeing this like a goat or something. I still remember that. It was like real black, and it was like ugly or something. It was like a goat. had horns, and after that, I just hurry up and I said, I gotta get out of here. This is ridiculous. I said, this can't be real, you know. And that was the story. It was like, wow. I mean, this thing was taller than me. And I was like, what the world is this? And I told my archbishop about it, but he told us not to discuss about that. And he told me personally one time when he was off work, he experienced the same thing and found out that area was conquered by the conquistadors out there. And a lot of people in the village never talk about what really happened. And after that, I remember going to sleep, and I remember a little kid laughing or something like that. Somebody actually called my name, and something was screaming. So I got back up the next day, and it was like, wow, what's going on? So I hurried up and left that place. I really did. I would never go back there no more because I kept seeing things. And what really scared me was this big thing that looked like a goat. It was like, oh no. Yeah.
That's really scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Have you experienced anything since then?
Well, I was doing demonology because I studied demonology and theology, and I remember out in Colombia, it was in the northern part, out in the coffee plantation, and I remember there was a lady in a white robe that was just walking around, and I was in the Rue area, and I was just driving. I thought she was in front of me, and almost had a wreck. And I was like, oh, nah, this can't be real. This can't be real.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. I even got a recording when I was in the church, and you can hear somebody screaming. Because I was trying to call the phone and do video chat and try to call the bishop, to get the security to check the perimeter, and the phone wasn't working.
Wow, do you still have that recording?
Yeah.
Is there any way you can send it to us?
Oh, sure, definitely.
Yeah, if you want to, I don't know, I don't want to speak for Sarah, but if you want to send it to me or Sarah, you can, I think both of our Instagrams are on our profiles on TikTok, so.
Yeah. So that's why I experienced that. And after that, I would never go back there no more. I said, no. I would never go back there.
Sarah, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I would definitely like to hear that recording. Just send me a message afterwards if you don't care, and I'll get to you probably tomorrow sometime, and we'll figure out a way to get it. I'd definitely like to hear it, but we really appreciate you coming up and sharing that with us. That's really
definitely
and spooky.
And being a bishop is, you actually see this paranormal stuff. I mean, I've been in the Appalachian where I remember a man jumped out in the Rue area, and I was doing ministry out there, and I remember a man that jumped out in the woods for no reason, and he was walking like a dog or something, barking. And I just flew back in the car. I was like, no, I can't. No.
Yeah, that's actually where I'm from, is eastern Kentucky, Appalachia. So lots of spooky stuff there.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you. Thanks for coming up, and
yes,
come back anytime.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. I enjoyed this. This is beautiful. I sit here and I enjoy it. I was like, wow, I love this.
Very cool.
Thank
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
All right, guys. Tap the screen. Send some hearts. Some people in here.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello?
Hello. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
All right, hanging in there. I have a quick question because I have two different ways. I mean, I think okay. Spirits is one thing because I've dealt with ghosts my whole life. I was basically part of the voodoo culture. You know, voodoo, Santeria, brujeria, paleria. I'm Puerto Rican and Cuban, so we deal a lot with the African religion. But then at the same token, I lived in Puerto Rico for about a good 15 years, and I've seen a lot of UFOs, aliens, and stuff like this. So I could tell you one story if you want, as far as, and this is all truth, as far as what I've seen as far as ghosts in my life. And it's crazy. I mean, well, it was crazy in the beginning, but now it's not. It's like normal for me. I'm always up at 3:30 in the morning. It's just automatic. I don't care what time I go to sleep. I could go to sleep at 1:30 in the morning, and at 3:30 I'm up. It's like clockwork. And here we are, me and the spirits, and we talk, and the saints, so on and so forth. But then the thing that gets me is that I have dealings with missing time when I for example, I was in Florida, and we saw a UFO. Me and my girlfriend, rest in peace, she passed away, and we saw a UFO, and I'm telling her, I was like, listen, it's time to leave. It was like 11 o'clock at night. We were sitting in the beach, relaxing and stuff, talking. And here comes this thing, right? You look like half a moon. And she was like, oh, that's just the moon the sun going down. I said, what do you mean the sun going down? It's 10:30 at night. There's the moon. There and the stars. That's it. That doesn't look right. So I went to grab my phone. I said, let me take a picture of it. And as soon as I went to take the picture, my flash went off. And next thing you know, this thing went from this machine, whatever it is, it went from maybe a quarter of an inch small. It was all the way out there. And it got real quick. It got to the point that it was like maybe a good 50 feet long. It was that fast. It was there. And my phone dies. And now I'm looking at my phone like my phone just died. Everything died. Her phone, my phone. And I'm like, okay. Next thing you know, I was like, yo, we got to leave because we saw it transform. It went from a half a circular disc to like an orb, and it just shot straight up into the sky. It just shot straight up into the sky like it was gone. So I got scared. I said, listen, we got to go. We have to go because I don't know what that was. So I said, you know what? Let's go buy a few beers because it was a weekend. Let's go buy a few beers and go home because I'm not going through this. And when we get over there, so I went to grab the beers, a little 4-pack, and then next thing you know, they said it's 4:30 in the morning. We can't serve you. I said, what do you mean it's 4:30 in the morning? It's 10:30 at night, maybe 11 the max. No, it's 4:30 in the morning. So then I had missing time. Now, that's fine. Okay, so now I got missing time. So now I go to the house. The same morning that I wake up, because I had to go to Miami, my eye was closed shut. My left eye was closed shut, and it burned like if I had something in my eye. So, but it wouldn't stop. So I had to go to the hospital, and they looked. They put me like in a room, and then they put the little blue light and everything in my eye. They put some chemicals in there to make it like, I don't know, a different color, like an antibacterial thing, whatever they did. And they checked my eye. They was like, nothing's wrong with your eye. I said, but it feels like it's on the left side of my eye. They said, no, you have, a puncture in the center of your retina. I said, what do you mean a puncture in the center of my retina? This is what we see, and this is what you have. So what happened to you? What happened to you? Do you think I'm going to let them know that I saw some type of object, I'm not going to tell them that. And I think that's the problem with a lot of us, people, that we can't tell them the truth. Because if we tell them the truth, they're going to think we're crazy. But it wasn't, the pain was on the side of my eye, not in the center of my eyeball. And that's what they said. It was in the center, a puncture in the center of my eyeball. So that's nothing. Then after that, I went to Puerto Rico. I said, let me go to Puerto Rico with my father and everything. We went out there to visit, hang out. And my father's a fisherman. So we went to, Puerto Rico is part of the Bermuda Triangle, right? It's Miami to Puerto Rico to Bermuda and back. So we went deep sea fishing late at night. And I never forget this to this day. And it's not too long ago, but it was three of them. They were the size of, I don't know, they were like literally like football fields. And this is at night. So they went underwater, and it was like six boats. They went underwater, and all the electricity went off. They went right from underneath us, passed us right by, and everybody got scared, right? Everybody got scared. Like, what the hell's going on? And we're fishing. But no more fishing now. And these three UFOs, basically what it was, they were UFOs, or what is it? Aerial phenomena, whatever. They popped up out of the water. One shot to the left, the other one shot to the right, and then the other one shot straight up. Then the electricity popped back up on a boat. So we took off right back to Puerto Rico, to Patilla. Pew, we're gone. We are gone. Everybody got scared. You know what I mean? Because they could have took us, like, who knows if they did. It's just, we took off. Everybody's scared, And the fishing was over. And that was like around 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. But that's just one aspect of a story that I could give you that is real. And it is truth. And I could tell you right now, I've been through a few situations that's kind of, it's not even weird no more. It's just I'm used to it. That, I see the lights and everything else, and just, you accept the fact. What can you do? I mean, like, literally, what can you do? If I had the power to do something, I would. But I don't, I don't understand. It's just, if they're going to do something, they're going to do it. It's that simple. But then the same in the spiritual side is different, because I've seen ghosts since from birth. I've seen ghosts. Like, that's normal. So I don't know if they're tied in or not, which is something I'm trying to figure out, if they are tied in or not. Because ghosts I've seen my whole life. But what I'm seeing for the past few years is very different. I see ghosts, but at the same token, now I'm seeing this other stuff. That's, I'm going through it. Like, literally been there, seen it physically. So that's the only thing I could say. I mean, if anybody could tell me something different, I would appreciate if anybody has some type of, to let me know. Maybe they could help me, because the truth is, I'm just like a sheep to the slaughter right now, because I don't know what's their next move. I don't understand. I wake up with bumps and bruises and burns and stuff. I mean, it's crazy. And I'm not the only one, but you don't really want to say it. Because if you do, who knows? Next thing you know, you might have some government official popping up or something. God forbid. But yes, they do. They do exist. I can tell you that right now. That's for a fact. And I'm not lying to you. It's the truth. They do exist. Whatever they are, they do exist. And spirits, of course, they do exist also. That I could tell you. I just don't know if they're all tied in together. That's all I'm trying to figure out,
I think they are, personally. I think that they are somehow, ghosts are a byproduct of extraterrestrials. That's my personal opinion on it.
Okay. That's what I keep thinking too. Like, I've been, like I said, I've been dealing with it since birth. Well, I don't remember, since birth, but I know I was offered up to, in the religion, the Santeria, Brujeria, Paleria. I've been offered up since birth. They call it Budon out here, but we call it, for us, that's the real religion. But most of us are Catholic, and I'm Catholic too. We believe in God always. God is the greatest. God is God. And you got the saints, which are, the angels. But what I'm seeing, what I've been seeing for years, it's nothing new. I'm talking over 30 years already. But what I've seen, what I went through has been past, I would say about a good 10, 15 years already. So it's kind of odd that now they're showing themselves, I guess, these extraterrestrials or whatever they are. Because I don't know. It's just a ship. I never got to see them face to face because I don't remember. You don't remember, You just appear with bruises and stuff like that. The next day you're in pain. It's like, what happened here? And it's funny, but it's the truth. But then again, I might sound crazy on this platform, right?
It doesn't sound crazy. Somebody asked what exactly you being offered up means.
Offered up, when I was born dead. 1970. I was born feet first. So basically, either my mother dies or I die.
Well, just really quick.
Sure.
I don't mean to interrupt you. We do kind of have to watch the. We can't really say any any crazy words. So yeah, just try and be careful with that. Just a heads up.
I'm sorry about that. It was just basically, I was born the way I'm not supposed to be born. How about that?
Yeah.
I was feet first. So, breech birth. And they had to cut my mother up a different way. It's 1970. So, technology was very different back then. And anyways, she offered me to Alegua. I don't know if you want to look it up. Papa Legba. Elegua. He's in red and black. He's an African deity. He's basically one of our saints, And I survived. I weighed 1.7 pounds back then. And I'm still here, 53. Now, my first daughter, just to go to show you how funny this story is, my first daughter was born 1.5 pounds. She almost, if you know what I'm saying, she almost whatever. And then I had to offer her up too. It went from generation to generation. So it runs through our generations of family. And you have an option as far as with our religion is basically you could do good or you can do bad. You see? But remember, it's like everything, you're on a scale. So, a scale tilts both ways. So depending on how you do is how it goes with your life. God is God, but the angels, if you're offered up to an angel, is how you do. If you do bad, then guess what? You're going to have to pay the consequences afterwards. If you do good, then you pay the consequences for doing good. It doesn't pay the consequences. You do good and it's a blessing. It's as simple as it gets. So my daughter wound up the same way, and it blew my mind because I went crazy when my daughter was born. I was like, wow. They told me, I even saw my daughter in my hand. I held her in my hand. She was all of 13 inches small. And they was like, well, she's not going to survive. I said, okay, she's not going to survive. I started freaking out, It's my first daughter. But what happens? In that situation, it pushed me to that point. They offered her up too, So we're basically offered up. And guess what? My daughter right now, her name is Glambat. on her Instagram and stuff. Beautiful young lady. God bless her. That's my daughter. Beautiful blue green eyes and everything, you know. And she's doing everything right, you know. So I'm just praying that, you know, that everything goes well. But I'm just hoping that she's not dealing with what I'm dealing with. Because I've been dealing with my stuff for over 40, 50 years already, you know. Between the ghosts and the you know, the extraterrestrials, I guess you can say, right? Sounds funny for me to say that, but it's the truth.
No, we get it.
You know, you say extraterrestrial to people and it's like, oh, this guy's crazy. It's like, no, man. I'm telling you what it is. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. It's the truth. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You know?
Yeah, and we don't judge here. We just listen to people, what people have to say.
Yeah. Now, I appreciate that. I was trying to get into your chat the other day. I can't follow you because I got over like 10,000 something followers or something. 10,000 something that I followed, and they said I reached my limit. And I'm like, oh man, and I wanna follow you guys like 110%, you know, but I can't do it because it won't let me. This
Yeah, you'll have to unfollow other people to be able to follow new people if you
Oh,
got
Lord.
10,000.
Are you serious? That's why I don't even know how to begin. Like I said, I'm 53 right now, so but I figure this out then if that's the case. Because I definitely I wanna follow you guys. I've been to houses with spirits. Like I've been to houses with spirits, I'm not gonna lie to you. And I'll tell you, you got a spirit over here. And it's truth because I feel it since shoot. I see them. I see them just standing in a corner trying to, and I even recorded and I got the little, yeah, I don't even know if you guys ever did this, but you record, let's say you're recording a person and you say, there's a spirit right here. And then you get like, it looks like lightning, but it's not lightning. It's like the outside of a lightning type thing. Like they're like illuminated and they walk right across your camera. Walk right across your camera. Like literally, that's happened to me about a good 8, 9, 10 times already. Easy. Because I see them, I feel them, I see them. I've been doing this since I was a kid. It's nothing new. It just, I don't capitalize on that stuff, you know. I see them as normal. But when I see them, when they cross by in front of the camera. And and you're in front of the phone and and you'll see like the outline and stuff. They just walk right through, you know? And I got like 2 recordings in 2 different situations in Florida that I've dealt with that, you know?
Would you be willing to send that to us?
I could do the best I can. Like I said, right now I got this Motorola thing. My other phone, where's my other phone? It's over here somewhere. I gotta find my other phone. That's the one that should have, because it's kind of hard when you switch to phones. It's hard to like switch over everything to the phone because I try to do that. Well, they do it in the store, but like I said, I'm not too computer savvy, but I know I got it on camera. I know that for a fact. But I mean, I don't know. I'll figure that out. Because I've been trying to get a hold of a lot of my videos and stuff. I got a lot of pictures, but if you see my pictures, go to my what is it? 32 Jose 321.6 and look at my thing with my pictures. You'll see, you know, I got my religious stuff and stuff like that. Because, you know, but I'm very religious when it comes down to my African heritage. I'm not black. I'm Puerto Rican. Well, I'm Taino. I'm Indian, Spaniard, and African, all mixed in. You know. Do you guys know what Puerto Ricans are? I'm just asking. Because
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, yeah. So I got a mixture of 3 cultures. And on mother's side, she's got more of the African culture, and is basically it's been handed down from generation to generation. And I got it, and now my daughter has it too. And we see ghosts, but I'm just getting the added something that my mother has never told me. Rest in peace. And my daughter, I pray that she doesn't go through this other extra stuff. You know, dealing with spirits is one thing. That I could tell you. Dealing with spirits is one thing. But dealing with it's different. You know, is very different. And it makes you feel like you're dying, but yet they're taking you. You know, it's the way I see it. You know. And then the thing is, they make you feel like they make you forget about it, like it never happened. So right now, I don't even know if I got a chip in my eye, in my left eye. I got to see if I get X-rated or something, because it does affect me almost like every 2 or 3 months. It does affect me. My left eye will start burning. It'll start burning for no reason at all. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? It starts tearing up. And why is this? You know, so I just try to rub my eye, but it doesn't go away. But it's on the same side that when I went to the hospital and I didn't want to tell them what I saw. And here we go. So I don't know if they're recording or what the hell they're doing, or if they put a chip in me, or maybe they didn't. I don't know. I honestly do not know. I can honestly not tell you the truth, you know, on that. Because the truth is, I know what I saw a few times in my life. A few times. And that's like, you know, it's crazy. Makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, listen, we do have some people waiting to come up and tell their stories. I'm sorry that you're going through all of that. I really hope that things get better for you. And we really appreciate you sharing all of that with us. That's a lot.
Well, you guys wanted a story, right? I'm telling you the truth. I'm not giving you a story. I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Well, my truth, anyways. My truth.
Yeah. And we believe you, man. And we appreciate you.
It says paranormal correct. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to. I guess I have to knock people off out of my I get the TikTok in order to make space.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
If you want to.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Because we're talking about something that I've been dying to talk to somebody about, but who can I talk to?
Yeah, and we'd love to have you back if you want to come back later on, or whenever we're live again. If you want to tell us more about it.
I would greatly appreciate that. I got more stories. That's nothing. Like I tell you, I just gave you 2 little stories. That's nothing. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely come back sometime. But we really appreciate you, and we hope you'll hang around in the comments and listen to some more stories with us tonight. And definitely come back sometime. We appreciate you.
No problem. Definitely. God bless you.
Thanks.
God bless you
Have a
guys.
good night.
You too. God bless you.
All right. Tap the screen, guys. Tap, 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 tap. Snoop boops. Oh, thank you, Ali.
Thank you,
very
Ali.
much.
Ali. I wonder if Ali wants to come up. And do we have a guest?
We do. We have a couple of people waiting.
Hello there.
Hello, welcome.
Might not be connecting.
It shows connected.
Oh, it does?
Ellie, are you with us?
Oh.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop you, Elle or Ellie, if you want. Request, come back up.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me all right?
Welcome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I think I was on here once quite a while ago for my own personal thing, but we have a bit of my aunt. I don't even know where to start. We've got some friends who are moving out of their home, and they've been lifelong friends. We've had, quite a few years of friendship with them, and the place they lived at was, kind of spooky and stuff. So those are different stories for another time. But they lived in a house, and my aunt went down every year to visit them. Susie has what we thought were just night terrors. And I said her name. I promised her I wouldn't. My aunt has night terrors, and everybody kind of jokes around about it because it freaks everybody out at times. We come running out, but she had gotten these divots in her shins, like mushrooms, like melon scoopers, and we just figured that she bumped into something. Well, Brenda, a friend of ours that she was staying with, her and her son thought it would be funny to record her. So to tell you how long ago this was, it was on one of those little micro cassettes. They recorded her, but then forgot about it. So they recorded her for a night and completely forgot about it. Well, Susie went down, and they're moving out of their house. They just sold all their land and stuff, so they're moving to a new place. And she found it. Well, they took the batteries out, and her husband cleaned it up because they were all full of crud. And they didn't listen to it until Susie got home. She called me almost in tears because she had listened to about 30 seconds of it. And this is where it gets weird, because you can hear her breathing, you can hear her doing her little snore thing, but then you hear what sound like voices but not voices, like garbled. There's one of the things that are making the noise must be closer to her in the recorder, but it's like it's barking orders to others, and the others are responding in shorter bursts. But Susie can't listen to the whole thing because she starts to get sick and she starts to cry. And she doesn't know why. She's like, I don't know why this is doing this to me. And I'm thinking, because I don't know, you're hearing voices of things that have maybe taken you. But I don't know where to go. And somebody on here had said that I could send it to him, but the problem is it's not digital, it's on audio tape. It's on cassette, those little tiny cassettes. So I've listened to it and it makes my skin crawl. But I can't even, if I made the sounds the way that I can make them that sound like that kind of, it sounds ridiculous. It's like like that kind of, but different tones and pitches. Has anybody ever heard that? Or, I mean, could I be hearing what Susie's nightmares are? What she is so terrified of? I mean, she would tell me about dreams she had of hiding in the horse barn with me, putting me underneath a horse blanket and hiding me by the hay bales because something was over the barn. And she's had those dreams for years. So this tape has got to be, oh God, they moved out of the brick house and they built the new house in 15 years ago. So that would have had to have been at least 16 or 17 years ago that this recording was made. And I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to clean up that kind of sound and isolate things, like you see in the movies. But it's really got her, just talking about it, she gets emotional. And I was talking to my buddy tonight about it, and I realized that whenever I start talking about it, I get a pain like behind the eyes and up in the top of my forehead, behind the eyes, like an ache. So I don't know if there's something connected. I don't know if it's just stress from her. I don't know. I have no freaking idea. And you guys are the first ones to let me up and possibly give me any kind of advice. See, like down here it says digitize it first. How do you digitize that micro cassette?
Everybody in the comments is saying digitize it. That's definitely the first thing you probably want to do. So there are a lot of ways that you can go about digitizing. I actually Googled it to see if there were any businesses, like, I don't know, there are some businesses that can help you with stuff like that, but I couldn't find anything. I was thinking maybe like Best Buy or Staples or something, but it doesn't look like they have the ability to do it. The best thing that I could recommend, unless you want to sink money into an expensive gadget, which, realistically, like who wants to do that for like one tape? I would just play the tape. Like if you have, you said it was like a mini cassette, right?
Yeah. She said it was the one you put. I haven't seen it yet. I'm actually hopefully going up to pick it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I've only heard it over the phone.
So if you don't have a player that will play a mini cassette, a lot of times you can find like an adapter or something, probably on eBay. Then the easiest thing is going to be to just play it in a quiet room and record it with your phone.
Right.
And again, unless you want to spend money on an expensive gadget. Now, if you do go
I don't have a bunch of money.
this direction, recording it with your phone, you're going to want to make sure that you're in a room that's not a big room, and a room that, like maybe a closet, or maybe like a room
Could I
that
make
doesn't
a foam
echo.
box?
I mean,
And put it
you
in?
could try out different settings and environments if you want, but I would just go into like a small room, like maybe a closet or something, where there's a lot of stuff, and that way it'll kind of muffle the sound, so there won't be a lot of echo, you won't get a lot of noise, but just make sure that there's not noise in the house when you try to record it, because you're going to want to preserve as much of that audio as, because this is not really a great way to do it, honestly. So you want to try to preserve the best that you can. And then you'll have, a semi-digitized version. You'll at least have a little bit of a backup copy, if nothing else.
Okay. Yeah, because,
So,
I mean, you guys are the first ones I tell people on it, and even, the other rooms that are supposed to be for paranormal and, aliens and stuff like Commander or whatever, he completely ignores the question. They just stay away from it. It's like, oh, you got possibly a recording of this. We don't want to touch that.
Yeah, stay away from that guy.
I appreciate this. Yeah, I appreciate I appreciate you guys taking the time for this, because we've had so many weird experiences in our family, and there's always been like this curiosity of if it's just us, if we've got some sort of weird genetic malfunction, I don't know. And when I heard it, it made my skin crawl. You got to sit and listen to a while of snoring, but once you get past that, then you can hear like things moving, like things are being moved around, and then you hear the little voices. And that's the only way I can say it. It sounds like voices. It's the one, and then another one does the same kind, but it's a different tone altogether, and then another one does something else. So we haven't listened to it to see if there's like suddenly a long pause or a quiet spot, like an hour-long recording or whatever it is of nothing, and then sound again, which, as much as I hate to say it, I hope there's something where there's no sound whatsoever, because then it's like, okay, well, maybe that's what this is then. But I don't know. It's just really a creepy, and I don't think I would be as eager to know if it wasn't for Susie's my aunt's reaction. Because, I mean, I've never heard her get emotional like this, and you can almost hear the fear when she hears it, when she talked about it. So, I will try that. And if I can get a good enough, or even if I can come back on after I pick it up and I can figure out something to play it for you guys. But it's, get your opinions, see if maybe I'm just hearing things, if Susie's just hearing things. I would like some other people's opinions that I don't know. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you guys would be up for that, as soon as I get it, I would love to have that opportunity.
yeah, for sure. And also, if you get a decent recording of it, I have audio software. I primarily focus on video and photo analysis, but I mean, I can do a little bit of audio software analysis. So, and I have the software at my disposal, so I could try to, try to maybe clean it up if it's, got a little bit of a a little noise here and there, whatever. But yeah, definitely give that a try. Do a few takes. If you record it and it doesn't come out great, try it again. But that would probably be the best way. I will say, don't trust the websites that say that they can digitize for you, because you would have to send it off.
Yeah, I don't
and you
want
may
it out
never
of
see it
my.
again.
Yeah, I don't want it out of my. Because like right now, I asked her. I said, "Well, where is it? If I can come and get it tonight, where is it?" She says, "I've got the tape wrapped up in an envelope with tape around it. That's here. I got the batteries over here, and I got the record." She's got it like, she's separated this thing like, Vlad the Impaler trying to make an impression. She's just like, I'm leaving it here, here, and here because I don't want any of it coming together when I'm home. And that's how afraid of it she is. So
Wow.
she doesn't want any. Yeah, she doesn't want it to have any context. She's just like, no, I don't want to hear it. She said, maybe I'll listen to it if you're here. She said, because I don't know if you're the brave one or the stupid one. She said, but if you're here, I'll try to listen to it with you. But again, we both had different things in our past that, we've questioned, we've wondered about this stuff and if this was happening to us. So, yeah, it's kind of like that. I don't know. It could be like that glory moment where you realize you're not nuts and you're not crazy, or it could just leave me hanging yet. So I'm hoping it's the not crazy. So, but yeah, as soon as I pick it up, because she should be home tomorrow, so I can swing over there and grab it. Do you guys come on every night?
We are here Sunday and Monday night, generally,
Okay.
from 11 p.m.
Okay.
to 2 a.m., and that's Eastern time. So,
Okay.
but you
All
can
right, well,
message
hopefully
me
by then
here
I've got
too on this
something.
account.
Okay. I'll try a couple of those things, see if I can make something that you can actually hear. I could hear it over the phone, but it was faint. I had to have her rewind it a couple of times, and she finally just laid it over by the phone and walked away.
Yeah.
But I could hear it enough to know that there were distinct, I guess if you were to say personalities, there were 3 distinct that I could hear, and it sounded like there may have been another, but I couldn't tell for sure. But I know that for sure that there were 3 distinct tone changes, like me talking, you talking, and him talking. But one of them talked more than the others. So I'm assuming that's, whatever. But again, it's not a voice. I tried looking this stuff up online, see if they had recorded voices, but it's always that stupid alien interview where he's like, I am not an alien. I'm from your future, And it's like, come on. Or you get something that's supposed to be a voice, but it's, as these 2 British soldiers walked through the woods, they saw some shining object. It's not even voices. So I can't find anything that's even, nah. So, but anyways, I'm rambling.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that somebody was able to give me some advice. So thank you for that, guys. And as soon as I get it and get something done, or I can at least play it and see what you guys think, that would be awesome.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Sounds
thank you.
good.
Oh, just really quick. Wait, are you still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna tell you, once you have that tape in your possession, if some guys dressed in all black and with sunglasses come knocking at your door, do not answer. You need to get that. You need to get that audio onto the internet before they. Well, I don't want to say anything, but just try to avoid them and get us that audio.
I don't think it would be anything that detrimental to the secrets of the alien universe. But if I do see him, though, I'm freaking the hell out. I'm up in the truck. I know some spots in the woods. But
Okay.
my luck, some Jehovah's Witnesses or something come up dressed in black. I'm going to freak out and run out the door screaming with an audio recording.
Yeah.
You're not gonna neuralize me. but hopefully it doesn't come to that. But no, as soon as I get it though, and again, I tried others and they just kind of avoided it like it was the plague. They didn't give me any kind of like, well, we're not sure. They didn't give anything. They just ignored me altogether. And it's like, you got 10
that's
people in your room.
strange.
I know you're seeing my post, So,
Yeah.
Thank you again, guys. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you for coming up and
You guys
sharing
have a
that
good
with
night.
us.
And thank you for everybody that with their advice in the comments too. Thank you guys. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. So cool. So awesome.
Yeah, I can tell you're excited about this one, Chris.
It's an alien night. It's an alien night. And
It
you know I
is
love
alien
aliens.
night.
I'm ready for the aliens.
Yeah, me too. All right, guys, tap the screen, send some hearts. Let's stay in the algorithm, get that number up a little bit higher, get out there to some people. And real quick, I just want to throw out a couple of things. If you love this channel and you like what we do here, one of the best ways to support is to actually subscribe. You get access to the Discord. We're all over there hanging out, the whole Boo crew. We do like little mini streams. We do all kinds of fun stuff. You'll love it. You also get emojis, which are really cool. I make them myself. And you can spam the chat with those while you're here. But the Discord is really the fun place. So definitely consider that. Also, don't forget, if you like horror movies and horror culture, follow Horror Chris because he is super cool and he is the best co-host ever. So show him some love and support and tap, 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 send some hearts and let's get the next guest up.
Large Tales.
Hello.
Oh, hi everybody.
What's
I
up?
was thinking about this guy's recording, and I had one similar, but not like that. Heck, we were in class. My brother and I were taking this class up at the college, and I was same thing. It was on one of those little micro tapes, and I was recording the lecture so we could study it. We were going to Billings the next day, and I wanted to, well, that evening, I mean, but I wanted to study it on the way down. And I'm sitting there listening to it and I'm taking notes while he's driving and just trying to, get a good grade in the class. And throughout the whole thing, I keep hearing this sound. It's at night and I'm not going to whistle. I'm native, but the sound is a whistle and it's going dee, 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 dee. I just keep hearing this weird whistle and I was thinking to myself, hey, there wasn't nobody whistling. Anyways, I just keep listening to it and then finally, I hear this sound like high heels because it's a hard floor. It sounds like high heels comes just storming up to my desk, like, because the sound, I'm judging by how it sounds. It comes storming up to my desk. Sounds like it slams the desk. I'm assuming putting the hands down on the desk, both hands, and just yelling into that, like would be into my face, like, get out. And this blood-curdling woman scream of get out. And it even distorted the audio. And so I stopped the thing and I rewind it and I hand it to my brother. He's still driving and I hand it to him and I say, listen to this. Tell me what you hear. He puts it up to his ear and he says, what the heck? He said, sounded like someone said, get out. And I said, yeah. But there was nobody. Anyways, our professor, we show it to him the next day or whenever we have class again. I think it was 2 days later. He's a computer science professor and he doesn't, it's all about reasoning and stuff like that. So you don't really think much of it. He says, well, the door was open that day and somebody probably just walked by. I'm like, all right, whatever, but nobody was there. We all know nobody was there. And that little tape, I took the batteries out and I lost the whole thing. I didn't realize when you take the batteries out, it just wipes the memory. But anyways, that's what that reminded me of. But this next story it comes from my son, my oldest son. He was going to a native school in Sitka, Alaska. It's called Mount Edgecombe High. And right next to the school, there was this old, what's it called? Tuberculosis hospital. They had a really, really bad outbreak a long time ago, and that's where the hospital was. And people went there just to get care and try to beat it. Well, one day he's laying in his room and he's reading a book, and he's saying, Dad, I just got this weird feeling. So I looked out my window and I couldn't quite place it, and so I end up looking up at those old windows, because that place is condemned and it's got chains on it, and like kids can't get in there. There's no windows broke, nothing like that, no way in there. And he says, and I look up on that top floor, and he says, I grabbed my video or my phone and I started videoing. And he sent me the video, and it's these nurses like standing up in that top room, just like standing there. And he videos them for a little bit and he puts it down, and he says, man, that kind of freaked me out. So I closed the curtain after I videoed that little part. He said, and I looked back up there, and he says, and they were looking at me. He said they were staring like right at me. And so I kind of got freaked out. So I took the smudge out that you sent me, and I start smudging and everything. And he says, and I looked again, and there was nobody up there. So they were all gone. That video, and this is kind of to try to promote the Discord. I just joined it a minute ago. I'll put that video on the Discord for everybody to see. So if you want to see that video, become a subscriber, and you'll be able to see it in the paranormal section of the Discord. But this other story I got now is I keep seeing these Easter themes when I'm tapping the screen, and it reminds me of this story. Now, I've heard of this before, but this was the first Bunny Man story I've ever heard. Bunny Man, right? It's a thing. And so my friend's aunts, when they were kids, they were playing out in the yard. And it's crazy because this took place on the Blackfeet Res in Browning, Montana, like right in the middle of town is where this happened, in their yard. And so they're out there playing, and all of a sudden they look over across the yard. There's a fence there and some trees. And what they describe is this huge, giant bunny. It was about 6 feet tall, but it was standing on its hind legs, but it was an actual rabbit, but that big. It was standing on its hind legs, and it was looking at them. It walked around those bushes, and that's how it walked. It was just on its hind legs. Didn't have no other weird proportions other than it was standing on its hind legs, and it was like 6 feet tall. And they scream and go running in the house. They're there by themselves. Their mom's not there. They go running in, and this happened in the 70s. They go running inside, and they close the door and they lock it, and that thing walks into the yard. It walks up to their window, and it's looking in, like trying to find them. So they're trying to hide from the thing, like get out of its view, and then it starts trying to get into the house. But eventually it just like gave up and went away. And when my friend was telling me about this, he said, I thought that was really weird. So I asked my the other people, there was 2 girls and 1 boy there. He says, I asked them about it, and they all remember it, and they all tell the exact same story. So, I mean, there you have it, Bunny Man. I've never heard of those. I've heard of it before, but I've never heard of that on our res or anything like that. And when he started telling me this story, I said, hey, wait a minute. Are you about to tell me a Bunny Man story? And he bust out laughing. And he says, well, here it goes. This is how I heard it. And so the last story I'll tell for tonight is, another personal one. So my wife's grandfather was passing away, and he was up in the hospital in Browning. And on the end of the ward where people go when they're getting ready to pass, he was in one of those rooms. And we show up that evening, and there must have been about 20 people there, because we were there late. There wasn't like a lot of people there, and everybody's just kind of sitting around visiting and everything. And there were a bunch of people in the room, and they were taking turns going in there and stuff like that. But I sat out, like kind of back away, so the immediate family and grandkids could, get in there and stuff. So I'm kind of sitting back and just visiting with the people that are around there. But I couldn't help but feel that place was too, and it's a bigger hospital, right? Where you're at that little waiting area and stuff, and it's kind of big, but God, it felt like it was packed in there. It was so packed, it was suffocating. I had to get out of there. I went outside a few times, and I'd go back in, and I'd feel that same thing. Like, what the heck's going on here? And I felt like when you're in a sweat and there's a whole bunch of people that come to the sweat lodge, man, and you're just like packed in there like sardines. That's how I felt. And I was kind of getting uncomfortable. So I told my wife, well, whenever you're ready to go, I'll be outside. And I just kind of waited for her, and she came out. She said, well, how come did you come out? I said, I just felt like there was too many people in there, but there wasn't. I don't know. I just didn't feel right. So I came out. She said, well, I'm ready to go. Let's go. And then her cousin starts telling me the story, like a little while later. He says, man, that night that you're talking about, because we were talking about that. He said, that night you were talking about, and you guys headed out, he said, from the other hallway, there's 2 hallways down. He says, from the other hallway, he said, there was this woman, and she peeked her head out of the room. There's the doorway, and then above it, there's like this panel-like thing. It goes up to the roof. There's no way to get out that, but that's where that woman stuck her head through. Like, she stuck it right through the top of the door and looked out at him and then put her head back in, but way up tall, right near the ceiling. And she put her head back inside of that room. And there was other people that seen it too, like at different times they were seeing it, but they didn't say nothing. And when he's seen it, he's kind of a loud guy. Oh, did you guys see that? There's a woman looking at that. They all start looking, and it looks out again from the top, and then its head goes all the way down almost to the floor, and then it peeks back in again, back into that. But the door's closed, everything's closed. But anyways, that's one of those hospital spook stories. There's a lot from that hospital up there. And those are my stories for the night. Thanks for listening, and thanks for having me on.
Yes, we always appreciate it. Everybody follow Lodge Tales. He's got some great videos and stories to check out. And we appreciate you for coming up, Lodge Tales. That's spooky. My God.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right. Guest box is open. Oh, we got a person. I was just about to say, somebody hop in the box and tell us the story.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. My name is Terrence. I have an experience. I've already shared it once.
I would love to hear it again if you want to share.
Okay, I moved into this house, 1002 Lakeview Road, Ozark, Alabama. You can look it up on Google. I had a real psychic do it once. She said she thought it was like a female energy. I don't know. It was kind of... I finally got choked out one night. And it was just my little computer that had this little green LED light that would flash. And it probably wasn't stronger than like an 8-year-old kid. I mean, it choked my air all the way off, of course. And then I woke up like, what the hell? Heck. And I saw these misty hands turn into a gray ball and then go through the wall. Now, I'd been through a lot of stuff in this house, but that was the culmination of it. Yeah, I'm a little tipsy, but what happened is what happened. And there was another woman, or Frances Sykes, was with me for a while. And I come home the first day from work. She lived in the house. She moved me to the other room and said there's something coming in and out of that attic. And I went in that attic once. I'm telling you, it was freaky. That light always used to go off over there. And I used to listen to boots on wood. And that whole section of the house was carpeted. I put little plastic strips up in the winter. Man, that house, there was something wrong with that house. I tried everything. I tried salt. I lost 2 cats in that house. If I had to do it all over again, I would have moved out a lot earlier. Okay.
Yeah, that's...
Anybody got any questions?
Well, we appreciate you for coming up and sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah! Knocked a gun out of my hand once, and when it hit the floor, I'm looking at it. I'm looking right down the barrel at my eye.
Okay. Watch your language. You've already said a couple of things, so just take it easy on the language. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Peace and love. Peace and love. That's all we've been saying here for the past 5 minutes or so. Right? Peace and love. And we love TikTok. TikTok's amazing.
We love TikTok. Peace and love.
Yep, that's all.
Yeah. Everybody tap the screen as hard and fast as you possibly can. That will protect the stream and keep it from going down in a couple of minutes. Yeah. Whew. Lord of mercy. All right.
All right, let's try again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Hello, welcome.
Hey.
What's up?
What's up, Chris? Or Chris, huh? Cool. So I got a story. The story takes place in the reservation, and I guess it was told to me by my younger cousin who had the experience, and it was where I grew up, down in Shiprock, and used to live on this farm roads, and anyhow, we used to have different houses we used to live in, and I used to live in this trailer with my brothers and my mom and my sister. They lived in a different setting, in a different they lived in a hogan. I don't know if you guys know what a hogan is, like a octagon mud house sort of thing. Yeah. Well, I don't know if this was like a mud house. It was nice though. I mean, pretty decent. Anyhow, so my cousin, he was telling me as soon as he I guess he was in the trailer with us or something like that, and he wanted to go back to the hogan, so he went back to the hogan, and he said as soon as he locked that hogan, he said the hogan, somebody was trying to come in, and it was like yanking on the door, and this was like nighttime, and he started getting scared, and whatever it was trying to bang on the hogan. And if it was any one of us, we would have said, hey, this is we would say our name, we kind of would knock or whatever, and it would let us in. But whoever was at the hogan, they didn't say nothing. They just they just were just kind of knocking on the door, like banging on the door. It's just weird because that never happened at the trailer where I was staying at, and all of a sudden my cousin's having this experience, and he was very young, so he just started to cry. He's like just a baby. I mean, I want to say he's just a baby, but he's just kind of young person. He very scared, and I think he said it was a skinwalker. So that was very strange though, and I think it was that night we went over there to the hogan. I went over there and with my brothers, and then my cousins were like, hey, something just tried to come in, or was that you guys? Or you were just like, what? And it wasn't any one of us, and we're pretty brave guys, so we just kind of canvassed the area, and we didn't see nothing. It was just a strange night, I say.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds pretty creepy.
Yeah, definitely. Where I grew up is definitely that place is I would say it's cursed like that. That whoever, and then my people's belief is that when something is coming around like that at night, like a SW, or I like to say SW because I don't like to say the name at night. It just
Yeah.
kind of invokes that, it's like, it's really creepy. I mean, that stuff's, it's real, it's not
Yeah.
something you want to conjure or, play around with. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but us, where I come from, my people's tribe, we don't play around with that stuff. And I know they got a lot of stories on YouTube and all that stuff. They like to talk about it. They like to say the name, and it's just like, whoa, it's kind of bold, It's kind of creepy too.
Is that so? That's a big belief in your tribe.
Yeah, it's like not to say the name at night. Even just to talk about it at night is really you are like conjuring it up. It's like you invoke it. And I guess it is kind of one of the stories I just came up with. I mean, that happened a long ago, but I guess it's more like a curse, that on that place that somebody really wants that land. So anyhow, it's like, so the real story I wanted to tell is takes place in a faraway area. I mean, I want to say in a different country, but here in the United States, and it was around the hills, I would say. And there's this ceremony going on. It's this teepee set up out there, and people come together and they pray and eat. They eat medicine, they pray, they sing songs. And this medicine man was telling me in that ceremony one time, he goes, this medicine is very powerful, he said, because one time he said we were having a ceremony here, and this lady was sitting over here on the side, and she said she can really feel something coming around. She said, came around that night. It's coming around and came around the front. And it opened that teepee flap. And once it looked inside and looked at that medicine, and that medicine, it hurry up and dropped that teepee flap, and it just took off real fast. So that's what he told me. This medicine's very powerful. It can chase away evil. He was saying that. So it's such an interesting story, Anyhow, so yeah. I got.
That is.
Sorry, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, that is interesting.
Yeah, definitely. There was a story about an elder who had told me his story also, and he passed away too. And I remember he was just telling me, because he was talking about it pretty loud, and I asked him, I said, what are you talking about? And he was telling this story. He goes, I met the devil. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I met a real devil. I don't know if he said a real devil or it was the real devil himself, but he told me it was the real devil. Sort of, I guess those were his words, and I was like, whoa, that's interesting, and I told him, please tell me, and we were standing in the casino, and he had told me, well, he goes, this story takes place a while back, he said. When I used to go to different ceremonies, he was telling me, and he said he was sitting at ceremony, and he just could feel something. He was telling me he can feel something wrong with those certain people that were there that night, and he was kind of looking at them and kind of just trying to feel and sense them. And he said he got up. He wanted to go outside. He had this sense that he wanted to go outside, so he got up and he went outside. And he said that that devil was standing outside, and it was like he was saying it was like a half man, half goat. I mean, he said the legs were like like a goat or something. It had hooves, and he was pretty tall. He was telling me he was kind of naked. He's just standing there, kind of naked, like, and he told me he had horns on his head. And he was talking, and he asked me, "What do you want?" You know, and you know, that devil or that demon, whatever that was, it replied. He said, "Well, I'm here because I was sent here." He said, "Who sent you?" He goes, "Well, some of those people in there." What people? He didn't say like specifically like, "Oh, there's people sitting on that side." He just said, "Well, certain people, they sent me here, and they're here tonight too, and you know, that's why I'm here, because you know, he has a plan or has some kind of purpose with that, some kind of witchery or something." It was so strange though, and you know, my elder told him, "Well, you know, this is a good place. It's a place of worship. It's a place of God. Why I don't understand why you here, you know, like that." And you know, he asked him, "Well, you know, I want you to leave." And the devil replied, you know, he didn't say nothing at first. He just kind of just staring at him. And my elder said, "Well," he goes, "I'm going to tell you, leave again. And if I have to tell you again," he said, "this third time, I'm just going to warn you." He goes, "I know certain people that are very spiritual, they're with God, and they won't allow you to live." He was telling that devil. And you know, just right when he said that, the devil was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, all right." Well, he got really scared, you know. That devil, he said, "All right, you know, I'll leave." And so he left. He took off running on his hooves. And my elder went back into that ceremony, and he said he went in. He was supposed to go in clockwise, you know, like because that's the certain way you walk in the ceremony, especially like where his seat was. And so he, instead of walking clockwise, he walked the opposite of clockwise. And he said he walked the opposite, and he sat down. And he said as soon as he sat down, he seen some of those people sitting on that side, they got real sick and they started vomiting. And so he told me those people that got sick, they were the ones after that person, that patient. But he reversed that curse. He reversed that spell, whatever they were about to do to that person. And he was just telling me that is really. I just asked him, I said, "Well, holy shit, that's so crazy." Sorry about the language, but yeah, as like, "Damn, that's really crazy." You know, I told him, "Oh man, that's really crazy." He's like, "Yeah, it was." So that's a story for tonight. I want to tell.
Yeah, it's funny. It sounds like that devil was pretty chill, like pretty understanding.
Yeah. I want to say he's as chill. I mean, he couldn't back down. You know, first 2 or 3 times. I mean, he definitely had to be told. You know, like, "Hey, you better don't." You know, you better.
Yeah, but I mean that's definitely creepy. I couldn't imagine seeing something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. I was just thinking, what the heck? That's so crazy. Like how my elder was talking about how he had that encounter, and my elder, yeah, he passed on though. Rest in peace. You know,
Yeah.
he definitely was a good person, and he used to know a lot of songs and teachings, and just a lot of wisdom he used to try to give to me. I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, rest in peace for sure. We had our first story was involving a goat type of thing, right, Sarah? Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. That's like, I don't know. It's really strange that, I don't know. I mean, I think people could have ties with the devil in any kind of place, you know? So
Yeah,
even if it is a spiritual place too, as well. I mean, you just don't know who's who or how they're siding with, what side they on. So
for sure. If you have any more stories you want to tell us, come back up later if you want.
all right, yeah, for sure. All right, thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. My button's not working. What in the
You got
world?
it.
Yeah, my phone's getting hot, and the
Oh.
right side of my screen always starts lagging real bad for some
Yeah.
reason. Let's see. Ollie, do you want me to also just bring you up on the panel too? This guest has been waiting for a while, so they may not be here anymore. Johnny, I'm gonna drop you, and if you want, come back. I don't know if Johnny's still here, but hey, Ollie.
Hi, how's everybody?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Kind of an eventful day today. So yeah, definitely just a quick story. I don't have much to go on this, but so I was on TikTok live. Well, I was trying to play with it today, and when I took that picture in the park and I sent it to the Discord, about like an hour later, I was literally on TikTok live. I was like, just, let me share this little beautiful place with everybody and whoever wants to see. And so just went up la-di-da, just walking. And about like halfway through my walk, like my hike, everything in my phone, mind you, it was 80 something percent like it is now. It's like 83%. It was 80 something percent power, and out of nowhere, all the power of my phone drained. So I was like dropped on the TikTok live like crazy. Like everything was gone. My phone was shut off. And here's the funny thing: I had a watch, a Samsung watch too. That one also got drained, like dead. Everything dead. All batteries dead. So, I'm sorry, unalived. All of my batteries were gone. They were drained of power. So it was just interesting because I don't know what happened. Because my first thought was, but it's not like a coincidence when like your earphones and your watch and your sapphire over here. I don't think it was an alien. It was everything was drained. So that was strange. And I kind of like looked around. At this point, like I'm deeper into the park. Like I kind of escaped. Okay, I did a bad thing. I crossed some barriers because I was like, they're taking forever to fix this boardwalk, like for freaking ever to fix this boardwalk. So this is where it happened. I just, crossed over, said, do not enter, in construction, whatever. And so I just kept going. And hey, Maria. And so I just did that, right? And I went all the way to the end of the boardwalk where there's a little canopy, and that's where it happened. And well, looked around, didn't really feel anything, except just as I was trying to go back, I felt like somebody was walking behind me. Am I going to... Oh, I don't know about this one. I'm not going to go investigate that one. But the Friday story, I'm going to go investigate sometime this week. But yeah, I kept walking, and I kind of felt like footsteps behind me. Now, I didn't feel dread. I didn't feel malice. I didn't feel like there was something that wanted to like be evil around me. I was kind of like a wood watcher. I don't know if y'all have heard of that. There were like forest entities or like spirit entities. It could have been a spirit animal, an animal spirit or something like that, but it felt benevolent, like it was watching. And that was kind of like interesting that happened to me today. Random. But yeah, after that, I mean, I had no music, no nothing, so I had a quiet walk back to the car and got a cheeseburger and went home. So that's that. That was interesting today.
Where did you get it from, though? This is important detail. Important detail.
This is gonna be Chris's favorite one. I got it from Whataburger. I haven't had it in a hot while.
Oh man, which one did you get?
I got me the patty melt. I upgraded it, so I got me the patty melt with grilled jalapenos and a side of jalapeno ranch.
Have you tried those wings yet?
No, well, I looked at him. I didn't try the wings. Did you?
You know what? I like them. Sarah knows. I get them quite often. But yeah, I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, I was feeling kind of beefy today, so I just went for the for the whole shebang. It was either that or In-N-Out, so I had to take a pick.
We don't have In-N-Out here.
Yeah, it was like right there. They're starting to come over now. That's an invasion, Sarah. That's an invasion right there. In-N-Out is coming to Texas. So yeah, I mean that was my kind of like eventful day. But do we have people coming up? Any questions I can answer?
Let's see. We do not have anybody in the box right now. But if everybody taps the screen, let's get up to 50,000. We'll get some people in here. Guest box is open. If anybody wants to come up and share a story, we can do any of these topics or something spooky in general. Yeah.
I'm really getting an answer, trying to get an answer from a friend before I share this story of both of them actually. They're old high school buddies and they're field biologists. Well, one is an engineer. He works at NASA. But yeah, I had they contacted me. So after when I had my little Whataburger, I went to get some coffee. And so they shared because they saw this live last night. They were new on TikTok. And so they saw me sharing and they were like, okay, they wanted to talk to me about it. And so I'm just waiting for like a text or something, see if she'll get on. She wants me to share the story because it's quite juicy. And I never experienced it, but they were so sincere. So I'm just waiting on that. I hope she comes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I was looking for your live today. I kept checking, and I never did see it on, but I was trying to tune into it, and I didn't see you. So somehow I missed you.
Oh my God. It was like, it just got drained on the good part of the hike. Like, I mean, I was in a place where maybe you could have seen the Swamp Thing or something. Or who knows? If I saw something, it would have been live. So it would have been a good experience to like probably see this happen. But nope, something had to just drain all my batteries. So that's what happened. What did I miss so far?
We've had a busy night in here so far.
I heard some of them. I was working. Thank you, Tina. But yeah, it was quite a... Oh, wait. Hold on. I got a text. Oh, okay. Anybody sharing? Anybody here to share? No?
Not yet.
Okay, you know what? Okay, she said she gave me a thumbs up. She's watching. Okay, so this is a freaky little they were very sincere when they told me this today because the whole thing was we were gonna go watch a movie, but they shared this story with me and I was like astounded. Why? I thought we were friends. Why wouldn't you even ask me about this or tell me this story. Well, here's the thing. This happened to a group of friends. This is another story. This isn't my story. So just wanted to let everybody know I'm going to tell you in the best details I can remember. This one is actually a story on like a school undergrad, trip for these friends because they were at A&M at this time, the university in Texas, A&M. And so they went traveling to do some field biology work. And this was, I believe, where did she say it was? It was not Wisconsin. It wasn't Wisconsin. I'm thinking not Montana. What's below Montana? I can see it. Wyoming, I believe. It was it happened in Wyoming. Yeah, because they weren't that far north, and it was around spring, summertime. And now these two people I know very well, and they were so sincere when they were telling me the story because they really were looking to me for answers. And one has gone off to be an actual like biologist. Now they wanted their names and everything out of here according to the text that they don't want because they work in reputable places. Like one is working in where you go see the stars. So I don't want to risk their careers. But definitely, like they were telling me this was years ago and they were in a kind of like they were doing wildlife research. I think they were tracking some migrations of, was it elk or bison? I forgot the details about that because I was focused on this night thing that happened. So they're telling me John and Jane Doe are telling me this is going to be funny because at night it was kind of like evening time. They had an overnight camp, and before they were leaving to finishing up for the day, getting their final notes and stuff done, they heard some very loud, weird noises, and of course they kind of the group recorded it. Mind you, these are all students in science, right? They're trying to figure out what it was. Maybe it was a very wolf that got something. They what she described to me was a howl, like something was stuck in its throat, like a wolf that may have had a little accident or something like that, or probably something happened to his vocal cords, is what she described to me. So it was very loud howling. Now at this point I'm thinking, oh, y'all probably are one of those people that saw the Bigfoot. And that wasn't it. So they heard the howling. They kind of go to bed at night. Around an hour or two, they said that they kind of all simultaneously woke up because they were sharing two big tents that were close together. So they had one huge tent where they can put up their laptops and stuff like that and work. And well, basically they heard weird noises. They first thought that maybe just deer or elk or something like that passing by. But what she was telling me is something was like stepping crack, 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 like big feet. Like they thought it was a bear. Now they're in Wyoming, so it is a possibility it could have been a grizzly or it could have been just a black bear or something roaming around. And they were very careful because one of my friends, which is Joe, John Doe, John and Jane. So John was he was a Boy Scout. Me and him are Eagle Scouts. So he knows all the things to do, to cover up, the food and everything, right? So that's what he was trying to he was telling me that nothing was out there. I mean, maybe it was just an investigation. We had a fire going or something like that. So they didn't think much of it, but they were up and paying attention. One of the friends tried to open up and see what it was. They didn't want to spook it because they want to try to capture what it was. Oh, is it a bear or something like that? or is it like an elk or something? They wanted to just, peek through the blinders. They couldn't see anything. But then they heard like grunting noises, like a growl. And it sounded like if it was a bear or something big, like it sounded like a predator growl. It wasn't more like a grunt from an elk or a deer or something like that. It was something like sinister-ish, like more predator sounding. And so he zipped it back up. He's like, you know what? Let's, just turn on the lamp a little bit and let this creature know that we're here. Because they thought sincerely it was a bear. So they did, and they made some noise. They started banging their pots and pans, and they said, hey, bear, hey, bear. And then they basically were like, okay. They didn't hear anything for like a few minutes. But it was still there. It was like something was right there, and they saw a silhouette. And again, it was on the ground, so they didn't think it was something abnormal. They thought it was just a very large bear, and it was looking at them because they were looking at the silhouette outside of the tent, and it looked right at them. It seemed like it was standing still, and it just got a little big, and then just walked back, and then disappeared. And then they waited for like another 30 minutes, and it was gone. So they got some tea, and they woke up in the morning. They tried to look for footprints and stuff like that. They couldn't really find any. There was a lot of brush and a lot of crackling things on the ground. So here's the thing. They were packing up and they're ready to go. They took a whole day to pack up everything. They wanted to just take some pictures and stuff like that. So they did. And they were trying to get to a near town, and it took too long because they went to like a watering hole or something, is what they said. And this is when they told me that they were both idiots and they should have left instead of fooling around, because they also had like a deadline. So they got the data that they needed and everything, and they're all like in one big van. And I think, I forgot what they rented it. Everything was supplied by the university, by the way. So, which is, cool. So they were driving back in this big old like SUV, and there was like bars and stuff like this on this SUV in case you hit roadkill. So they went through the mountain area. They kind of left. They were driving on this range, and it was kind of like dusk. It was really like dusky. And they were like, still in the mountain region. So now you see a lot of things just kind of get darker and darker and darker. And as anybody else that lives in the mountains, can y'all just let me know? Is this for real? Like y'all just live in the mountains and it just gets dark real quick? Like it's like, it's always like that. And so then they were telling me what happened was like the sun was behind the mountains. So it got dark, and then later, they were just joking around, they were talking, and then they hit something. And they hit a very large elk. It was a buck. A very large elk. But the thing is, they didn't hit it alive, you see. They tell me it was dead and ripped in half. So this was like, they were like, okay, what is this? It was ripped in half, and the way it was ripped was kind of strange because they took some pictures. They had like a Polaroid or whatever at that time. For the life of me, I don't know why. So they took some pictures and stuff like that. And what they were doing was they were trying to figure out what could have killed this. Was it a predator attack? They were like, ooh, this is cool or whatnot. Again, both of them look at me in the eye and tell me this was the most stupidest thing that they did. Because they should have just kept driving. And if they would go back, they would have left a day early. So what happens was they were kind of like trying to figure out what happened because they told me the elk, like the horn of the elk, got onto one of the tires and it kind of busted it. So they kind of like had to, they had a spare, but one of the tires was like really busted because the horn got in there. So you can imagine now they're stuck on the side of the road, and here we go. They're stuck on the side of the road. So they're trying to figure out, one of the girls is trying to figure out what happened to the elk, and Jane Doe here, haha, no pun intended, was trying to figure out what happened. She's trying to figure out, look for footprints or anything, because she was just interested in figuring out what predator did this. If it's a grizzly, if it's nearby, maybe they can take a silhouette picture, or if it was a pack of wolves. She kind of like got her gloves on, and she's like kind of like looking. It's a very fresh kill. And it seemed like the way this animal was, it was almost like really trying to go, because it was warm. She told me the blood of it was very warm, and it was cold out there, so you can still see heat coming off. So the kill was very fresh, she said. So this animal was just ripped literally in half, and you can see 2 pieces of it. They ran over the head part, and the antler got to the tire. So she sees huge, huge claw marks. Again, here's her first thought: grizzly bear. She's telling me sincerely, I've never seen this big of a grizzly bear before, because the fingers are far apart. Like the claws are far apart. And instead of like 3 or 4, it's a really good 5 claws. She said, like really good. And bears, I mean, they have big 4 claws. And usually when they have like bear attacks, those 4 claws are consistent. Again, these are field biologists. They're scientists, and they're in the field working. So, I mean, they kind of know what they're talking about. And this is why I believe them in their story. They said, as she was just kind of like, she saw that, she heard a huge growl. And it was coming from the other side of the car. And it got a little darker now. So she she heard a huge growl. And the tree, that it was like the shrubs or something like that, were shaking really like crazy. And she was telling me that's something that, is abnormal, and it's like a threat. Whatever it was, whatever animal did this, it's a threat display. And then she proceeds to tell me, and this is when John Doe tells me right now, he's like, but then everything stopped. And the thing is, we interrupted a feeding it almost or something. It felt like the same growl, he said, that they heard before. And it was a howl, the same kind of howl they heard last night. A broken, scratchy, not rhythmic howl. Like if you ever hear a coyote or a wolf howl that isn't really injured in the throat, this sounded like he told me it sounded like it was a throat punched kind of a howl. Very broken, very just gargly kind of a thing. And what happened was then something came out of the bush, and both of them, and this is when Jane, she's squeezing my hand, and like she's like sincerely, she looks at me in the eyes, and she tells me that what she saw is what she saw, and what John saw is what they saw, and it came out of the brush, and it came after them. They were literally running down the road being chased. And they told me, and they see it as clear as day. They see it, and they say it was literally a 7, maybe 8 foot, it was 8 foot tall, hind legs, and it looked like a wolf coming out of the brush, okay, on all fours, and it stood up. And that's what they were telling me. It was like 8 foot or 9 foot. It stood up. So I'm thinking, okay, this is not a Sasquatch. This is a Dogman story. Here's the thing. The thing had very long ears. She was very much more describing to me everything. Now, she is a biologist. So she knows that this was a wolf's head. This is whatever this is, it's canine in nature. Because she's looking at it very clearly because it's still blue in the sky. She tells me it was canine in nature. It had longer back legs, so it actually stood up. And what happened was it had very long arms, fur everywhere. It had small, like half tails, she would say. She described everything to me to the bone, as a field biologist would. Same thing, yeah, and same thing with John. He was describing, he's like, I second this, and this is exactly why both of us contacted each other, and we wanted to talk to you about it to figure out what it was. Maybe it was like a spirit or something. I'm like, whatever y'all are describing to me ain't spiritual. Like, I don't know how to explain this. I'm looking at them like, I don't know how to explain this. It seems biological to me. I mean, and that nature. But I believe them because John, I know him for a long time, and this guy was in football and everything. Like, when he was telling me this in detail, he was shaking. His hand was shaking. And so I'm just like, I'm at this point, like, I put my coffee down. I'm kind of like holding on to like both their hands. I'm like, it's okay. Y'all can just take a few deep breaths and just continue. Tell me what you saw. Because I believe them. And I told them I believe them because the way their eyes looked, and Jane's eyes were basically very, very teary at this point because she can't believe it. And she's never told nobody. No, all four of them never said anything. It was very dark. She says it was black, almost dark brown. She was very detailed. Fur was everywhere. It looked very healthy, she said. She said it looked very healthy and was very thick. Muscular build, and when it fully stood up on all of its both of its legs, they said it started to walk towards them. And this is when John was like, like getting a stick or something like that. And he's like trying to act like a big, like it was a bear or something, which is kind of like, I'm a little giggling on the inside at this. And if they're listening, guys, I'm really sorry, but it did sound funny. Because he was trying to scare it away. Like, hey, get out of here. Like trying to be big. It didn't work. They said it just it just got closer and closer. And he wanted it. Like, he wanted to come after him. And what happened was it started to come a little closer and closer. This is when they're like, he's not coming. Like, he's not backing down, whatever this is. This is when Jane said, just run. And then they run on the opposite end into the field. The other side of the car was all open field. Like, you can have possibly a rancher or someone out there. So they're running. And this... What happened? Oh,
I think Chris has got a little bit of feedback.
Sorry, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just having trouble muting my mic. It won't mute. Let me drop out, and I'll come right back, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, so, oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. What did they say next? They were running into the field. She said it was tall grass. This is, again, she thinks it was very, very stupid for them to do so because it was coming after them. And she looks back and it's chasing them, like almost like leaping on two legs. And so this is when she just screams and they're just running. They like kind of like go over a hill and they just keep running and they hear it like getting close to them behind them. Like it really wanted them gone. And then after that, like they just keep running. They don't stop until like maybe they got maybe a half a mile. And then they look back real quick. John looks back and he's like, it's gone. It's not there. So all four of them are, now looking at it like as in where'd it go? What happened? This is an open field, guys. So they could have seen it leave. Again, the way they were describing this open field, there was some tall grass, there were some bushes here and there, but they don't know. The thing is, they were scared and it was getting really dark because the blue in the sky was getting darker blue, and the silhouette of the sunlight behind the mountain was going darker, and they were really afraid to go back. So all I can say is what they try to makeshift a torch. Like they ripped off some of their clothes or something like that, and they made a torch. And then they went after, they just basically had fire, and they went and tried to go back to the car, and they were just surrounding it with fire. They were hoping that nothing was there, but when they came back to the car, the carcass was gone. The carcass was gone. And so John Doe was standing guard while, one of the other guys that they were with, they changed the tire real quick and they drove into town with a spare. It was a 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive, I think they said, so they can refill. And they were all like deer in headlights. And she was telling me that this was dead silence. Nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody could talk about it. But they were all shook and scared, trembling. They stopped for gas because they really needed it. And when she went inside to use the restroom, she threw up. Both the girls, actually, they all kind of like threw up. Like, like they just had like this huge traumatic experience. So basically, they fuel up, they go inside, and, she and the other girlfriend are inside grabbing some, Gatorade or whatever they were saying. They were getting some water. And then they pretty much, the lady that was on the counter, she said, y'all seen a ghost or something out there? And she looked at her, and then she started to cry. That's when she just started crying. And the lady was looking back at her. She's like, are you okay? Do I need to call like an ambulance or something? Are you having a panic attack? Because this is a nice old lady is what she was describing to me. But, then John said he came in, he got her. And, they just went back to the car. They kind of settled and they went into town farther into town because they needed to go back to the city and go home. That's what they described, and they were looking at me. Both of them were looking at me, asking, like looking towards me for answers. And I told them, I was like, my friends, my experiences in otherworldly things, if this was the devil, I would probably tell you it was something biological. And that's what they both agreed, and all three of us agreed it was biological. And I really sincerely said, as a psychologist, whatever you guys saw was real. I'm not dismissing it. And you're valid in what you saw, because they held this in for many, many years. And they never encountered anything else like it before. And they couldn't really say it. But John said, like, what was this? Like, I mean, was this a werewolf or something? Could it be real? Is this something that is cursed? Is this like one of those skinwalkers, that you're familiar with native tribes? Like, is this what that was? I'm just like, because they were looking for answers. These people are like scientific. And they were so sincere. And I was like, honestly, I don't know. I couldn't give you an answer. But I can say that whatever you saw, you saw. And whatever you felt, and whatever you saw was real. Because I'm using everything in my book. The way y'all are trembling, the way you're saying the story, and the way you didn't even touch your coffee yet tells me everything. that whatever you experienced was real. So that's my big spooky story. That's not my story, but a couple friends who I'm kind of still like, ticked off that they took so long to say something. But it's okay. Everyone has their own way.
Yeah, that sounds very much like so many of the Dogman encounters that I've heard. And actually, I don't know, like if they're interested in anything like this, but after the show, I can post it in the Discord or message you or something. There is a channel that has like tons and tons of encounters from witnesses, and maybe they could listen to that, because that's really what kind of got me, interested in the Dogman topic, was that one particular show. But maybe that might, like, I don't know, help or something. I don't know. Maybe they just want to forget about it too, though. So who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel bad because whatever they experienced, they were really, truly traumatized by it. And I'm glad, like, I mean, now they're like going on and stuff like that. And yes, Harry, elks are huge. It's a shame, though. Whatever that thing was tore it apart. I really would like to see an elk, like a fully grown elk. But yes, yeah, like it was sincere and I believe them. And I think they're listening right now. I think they're watching on the live, or one of them. I know Jane is, but she doesn't have enough followers. She just made one. So I said this story to all of you guys so they can get some reassurance that they're not crazy. Those are like normal stories here. So many people have had those experiences.
Yeah. And I actually, Raven's talking about it in the comments. I actually sent Raven to this particular YouTube channel. It's called Dogman Encounters. And I guess, Raven, were you able to make contact with Vic? And actually Vic would probably really like to hear this story as well. So if they're ever interested in talking about it anonymously, they could definitely do that. But
Yeah, it was very interesting because the way they were telling me, I had like goosebumps myself. I was like, oh my God, because you have like Jane, she's a very good field biologist, and she's like really like valuable to the University of Houston and you know the Houston Zoo and everything, and so she knows her animals. And so this was something like very interesting coming from them because, oh my God, you don't get a lot. I mean, like, I work in a hospital. You don't see me going around saying that, hey, I saw a ghost. I just keep those things quiet. But I wonder how many other people out there who may have experienced this and, don't say nothing because maybe their career, their degree or something like that, maybe questioned. But heck, I'm not crazy. Like, they're not crazy, so I wonder who else.
yeah. Yeah, there are tons of people who don't feel comfortable sharing stories like that, especially, if you're in the scientific community, because it kind of goes against everything scientific. And that's completely understandable. I mean, and like, I'm not like a scientist, but I'm a scientific person. I like science and I like scientific explanations, but there are just some things out there sometimes that kind of defy those rules and laws, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be explained, but that's, the basis of science. Some people forget that it's always a point of answering a question, and questions keep coming up. So maybe this could have been something that was a biological anomaly, or it could be a curse. I know, like, somebody in the comments was saying that our dogmen, like, forever cursed or something like that, which is kind of an interesting thought because even like that story from India, like these were creatures somehow become cursed or something like that. Is this something that's kind of like the same thing? Are we seeing these same creatures, or what is it? We never know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely hard to say. I certainly don't have any theories or explanations. I know there are tons of varying degrees of opinions and beliefs about what Dogman is, but who knows, you know?
It's just a bear. It's just a bear with mange.
I think it could just be a Bigfoot. Maybe there's like some mangy big feet. Bigfoots.
Well, they don't have ears.
I mean, they could though. Like, what if there's different kinds? I don't know.
Who knows?
I told you I don't really know.
Yeah.
But
maybe it's Joel.
I swear, was there a story here? There was a gentleman that actually had a story. He said that he encountered a Sasquatch, like a Bigfoot, but he encountered two different ones. Like their features were different. I don't know if that was this.
yeah, maybe we get quite a few cryptid stories on here. And sometimes it's hard to keep up.
Whatever it was hungry for elk steak.
Yeah.
Couldn't share.
Yeah. Well, Ali, do you want to hang out for a little bit? Because we've got some people in the box waiting.
Yes, please. I'll hang out and go for it. Go for it. Let's get some people in here.
Awesome.
Hopefully my story inspired.
Hello.
Hello. Rachel, are you with us?
Rachel, are you there?
I think she might have fell asleep. Kind of sounds like it. All right, Rachel, I'm going to drop you, and if you want to come back, request, hop back in the box.
I really wanted to say, if you're there, please give us a sign.
Give us a sign of your presence.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Can y'all hear me all right? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, thank you for having me. So I got kind of a weird one. I don't know if it's just like paranormal, if it's just kind of like a message or something. So I've been having a dream for about 7-8 years. It's just kind of weird. So there's this girl I see where I'm just having this dream and I see her, but I can't see her face. But I feel like a presence from her. It's just super weird. So it's been going on. It happens like every 2 to 6 years. Well, 2 to 4 years. Sorry about that. And like I can see her, but I can't see her face. But I just feel like this presence of like love and like, I guess like I can't really explain it. So that's kind of why I just wanted to see what people are thinking. But like I feel like I've known her, and then I even had dreams where I kind of like I had a dream where I guess my conscience came in and I was like, I know this isn't real. And then she kind of looked at me and she was like, how do you know that? I don't know. It's just something super weird, but it feels like I know her, and I don't know if that's just kind of like some kind of a past meeting or I don't know. It's just super weird. So I just kind of wanted to get everybody's idea on that.
Ollie, I think this one would be a good one for you, probably, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so too.
What do you think?
Spark Notes again. Just trying to get my head around it again.
So basically, like, it seems like it happens like every 2 years or so. Like I would have a dream. Feels like I know her. Like I even woke up one time, like tears were coming out of my eyes. It was just super weird. But I've never seen her face, but I feel like I know her. But I've never seen her face, anything like that. We always have a good time in the dream. But it seems like, I don't know, like she's reaching out. And then one time I had a dream where, like, I guess I just knew it. I was like, this isn't real. And she looked at me and she was like, how do you know that? You're not supposed to know that. And it was just super weird. I don't know.
Every 2 years, you said, right? This happens.
Yeah, it feels like it's like every 2 or 3 years I'll have this dream about this person and I don't know why. Like it's super weird, but I've never seen her face, but I can feel the love. Like it's super strange.
Oh yeah, I mean Raven's right. It seems like it's not a premonition. It's like a past life vision.
Okay.
As if something happened in another life and it was still fresh and close to you,
Yeah.
as if something is coming to you, possibly. So like, my question is like, when you have these dreams, like, is it a certain time of year or something like that? Like,
That's what I thought as well, but there's no correlation. So like I say every two, it might be every three. Like it's just a weird timing, but it happens, and it's just like who is this person? Who is this girl? But like I don't see her face, but you get that feeling, like like when you feel that love, and it's just like overbearing, but it's just like, how can I love this person? I've never seen him, or maybe I have, but it's just like the face is always blurred.
oh, so this can mean a couple of things. I know a story like yours, and so it's a very big possibility. It was a past life, and it was like someone in like your recent past life. Like, I'm talking about, not 1,000 years ago. I'm talking about like, quite recent, if I'm not wrong. And I don't have the details about the environment that you're in.
Yeah.
But when you have these dreams, like, what do you see around this girl? But if you feel what you feel, I feel like this is a reach out from a past love that hasn't kind of like reincarnated alongside you, like a past flame, like your twin flame or something that probably died. Something was unfinished or something of the sort, or y'all made like a very big promise.
So when you say that just brought back something else, because I see this place and I feel like I know it, and when I dream it, I know it, but I've never been there. So that's where it gets a little strange. So it's like I can see things in the dream, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm in this dream with her, but I've never been there.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds like a
The
past
same
life.
place.
Yep, past life vision. If it's something that you've never been, but you've seen it and it's very familiar, yeah, your soul was there before, and you're not alone. Many people have had these kinds of experiences.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, when you said that, that just triggered another thing, because it's like it's always a place. I know I've never been there because it looks a little weird, but if you've been there, you know it. But in the dream, I'm like, okay, I'm here with her. It is just super creepy. But it's just like, okay, I know I'm here, and then all of a sudden she pops up, but I can never see her face. That's what frustrates me.
Yeah, that is something that is interesting, because you would see some sort of familiarity.
Yeah.
It also could mean that whoever this person is probably, on their way into your life. That could also mean something. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, like, are you, like, do you have a significant other right now, or is this?
No, not at the moment. It's been a couple years, but I would get this dream about this person even when I was with my ex. So it was just super weird. So a lot of people would think that it was kind of like a struggle going on in the relationship, but we haven't been together for a few years. So it's just like, I mean, was it that or was it something else? But the features were never like my ex. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, you felt love. And the kind of love that you felt was very, like, possible, like a partner.
Yeah, like exactly that. You know what I'm saying? Like when we spent time together, and then when I told her this wasn't real, she was like, "We don't have that much time, but let's spend this time." Like I felt it, and she was beautiful, but I've never seen her face. Like that's the crazy thing. It was just something, I guess, gave off from her, the aura, whatever it may have been.
It's probably a past. Yeah, it was I mean, what I'm getting from this is I would try to find the place that you keep seeing in the dream.
Yeah.
Try to like make a sketch of it or something like that, so you can probably like have a search or something, so you can go there and visit and maybe get some more answers. But what it seems to me to give you some sort of assurance, and this is because I've had other people with similar experiences, come to me about this. This was definitely a past, like, real, true love. And it's just that you had a second life or something like that. Maybe to find her again, or again, wait for her. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean that, okay, like, you seeing this, right?
Yeah.
There are cases where, okay, both of you, like, star-crossed lovers who literally were meant to be heart to heart, something happened, right? Either she passed and then you passed, or it could have been something a little bit more horrible to the story, because, like, a couple of other people who've had this similar story like yours, and when we do readings or do past life regression, they would end up like their spouse either died or their girlfriend died. They loved them. It was uncompleted, their union, and then, one of them committed suicide, like, unalived or something, or one of them got sick or something like that, to where, you couldn't live without the other person. And somehow the universe just popped you up again, and she's not here, but this life you're going to have to live out until you kind of like are born again with her and you find her again. So it could be like that. We're not too sure.
I mean,
But I just wanted to give you an
that
example
gives
of what.
me chills. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, so it could be that. I mean, maybe there's some messages that she still has to say something to you, but if you feel like that this is, like, the only place that she can probably be with you, and that's it, that was probably you. And I would look back, you probably have a past life doppelganger. Your face could be the same. I don't know how far back, again, how it goes. Some people have had this kind of past life thing 200 years ago. And some people just, a generation ago. We never know. But yeah, I wouldn't be too afraid of it.
No, yeah, I'm not afraid of it. I just want to explore it more, but it's like I can't control it. I can't control the dream, like it happens randomly. So that's why I said that 2 to 3 year mark. So that's why I was just kind of wondering, like, is it a message? Is it? But with it, everything you're saying, like, yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. I get it.
Try to find a hypnotherapist that can probably get you into that dream state. I know microdosing is a thing, but it's quite expensive in a hospital setting, especially. But definitely try to do like a reading or something. If you can find a profound bone reader or someone who is, like, established close to where you live.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for that.
Of course.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Wonderful, Ollie.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah, that was such a sweet story. Oh my god. It's like a love story.
No, you're doing great, sweetie.
I always send Chris that meme, the one of the Kardashian mom with the video camera, and she's like, "You're doing great, sweetie." All the time. Oh, cat attack. Ow, ow. Oh my god. All right, guys, we've got about 30 minutes left in the show tonight, so let's get some stories in here.
Yep.
If you're hanging out in the chat and you have a story and you also have at least 200 followers, feel free to hop in the yes box, come up and tell us one of these types of stories, or just a spooky story in general. It doesn't even have to be paranormal. We want to hear your spookiest spooky story, the one that keeps you awake at night. That's what we want.
We're almost done, so join now.
I always feel like Miss Cleo a little bit. Like, you remember how she was always like, "Call me now."
Yeah.
I never seen that. Never.
Really? You never saw Miss Cleo?
When was this? Was it a late night show?
It
Like
was
the 90s.
like Yeah, it was like the late '90s, and they usually would run her ads kind of late at night. But she
Yeah.
was like a telephone psychic. But I mean, it was a scam, but she was wildly popular and like really successful. And then I think they made like a whole documentary about
Oh,
like there
that
was
was
some big
her.
controversy.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was like, I never got that. I think it was because maybe I was like forced to go to bed that early.
Yeah.
Come
All
on up,
right.
somebody share your scary stories.
Yes, somebody hop in the box.
Don't be shy, guys.
Raven, she lives in your town. We should do a tea party. I would like a visit.
Miss Cleo lives. Oh, that's crazy. I always wondered what happened to her. I haven't seen like I swear I think there's like a documentary or something about her, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Is she even still with us?
Miss Cleo,
Yeah.
I guess Raven says that um, she lives in his town.
Oh.
Let's see. All right, guys. Guest box is open if anybody wants to come up.
Yeah, if anybody has a question, maybe I can kind of like answer that's related to non-biologicals. I'm here.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm gonna bring this person up really quick. Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes. Are you there?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I've been having experiences last night where I was even attacked by a woman who growled at me. I've been saging my house every night lately, and I just now saw a black mass in my bedroom, and my doors actually rattle every night. Like they shake unconstantly. They don't even stop, and I don't know. I've been seeing things like I saw a little girl in my room one time, and my sister even saw her when she spent the night at my house.
That's
Yeah, that's interesting. Um, Ollie, do you have any tips for that? I know you're more experienced with that stuff than we are.
Actually, real quick, Angel, how old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay, just checking.
yeah,
It all
that's
started at my mom's apartment a few years ago, about 9 years ago. I started seeing really bad demons in her house. One time I was in a shower and there was a really tall, really big, buff, gray, uh, large horned figure, and it was very tall to where I was able to see it over the shower curtain.
oh.
And there was a girl, I saw it, no one else saw it, but there was a girl in a white gown that was actually crawling underneath my mom's kitchen table with yellow eyes, just staring at me with long dark hair, and she was just crawling, and no one saw her but me. And she attacked me a couple of times, and I was attacked last night.
Does anybody else feel attacked in your household,
So
or feel attacked?
my mom, she sees and she talks to them. My sister does as well. I don't talk to them, but I do see them when they want me to see them. I don't see them all the time, but when I do, it's very vivid.
I mean, what does it mean that your mom and your sister are talking to them? Like,
They can see and talk to spirits.
oh, are they practitioners, or do you know if they conjured something?
No, they're not practitioners. They're just I think they're just mediums. It kind of runs in my family from what I'm starting to believe.
Oh, so it seems like you are having unwanted visitors.
Yes, I've been saging my house. I even do I pray a lot. One time I was reading my Bible and I actually had handprints on my leg where I could see the fingerprints, and it was actually on my bed, and something told me not to look up, but I looked up and just it felt like something like was literally in my face, to where I sensed like a really bad, like, so it just felt like fear just jumped right out of my body when I looked up from my Bible. I didn't see anything, but it just felt like there was a presence right in my face as I was reading my Bible.
So I'm gonna jump in real quick here. First of all, we don't really give like advice on this type of thing. We've got a really bad echo. I think I'm not sure if Ali really knows what to tell you, and I certainly don't. But we usually just do stories here, so I'm gonna have to drop you. I apologize. We appreciate you coming up, but I don't think this is the place. Sorry. This one's feeling a little uncomfy for me, guys. I don't. This is not really the place for that.
Yeah, it was just too much.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I can try. I mean, maybe she should just see somebody.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But what do I know? We just do storytelling here. We're just having fun. We don't get real dark and serious. So sorry about that, Angel. But what was her name? I don't remember. Her first name was Angel. That's all I know. All right, guys, tap the box. We've got, what do we got? About 20 minutes. Get some people in here. Let's get some crazy alien stories. We were on a roll with alien stories. Ali, did you hear the alien stories earlier? Because we had a bunch of crazy ones that were like really intense.
The guy, Jose, I remember him. Yes.
Yeah, that one was freaky. That reminded me of, I don't know if you guys ever saw Fire in the Sky, but the eyeball scene in Fire in the Sky changed me mentally and emotionally for the rest of my life. I was a little kid when I watched that movie, and I was just never the same afterwards, but terrifying.
No, I mean, I was just like, I'm like, he was just kind of like turned on, like, you know, there's an incision in the center and everything. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, terrifying.
I want to know. I want to know more.
Yeah, he said he would come back sometime and that he had, oodles more stories, so.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm really excited to potentially hear that guy's recording that he's gonna send us. That sounds really interesting.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be pretty crazy if we like discovered some significant piece of evidence here on this little show. Don't you think?
Yeah, that would be cool, but I don't know if we'll get that lucky.
I know if somebody can bring some of that footage from the Men in Black, that would be nice.
Hello.
Hello again. Hi, guys.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I thought I'd bring a kind of lighter story in, kind of lighten things up a little bit. So I told y'all last night about my grandmother. how she, she's a witchy Christian woman, and she took us all around Gettysburg when we were kids. And this one's more, her home was built on what she thinks was a part of the battlefield, unfortunately. But this story actually, this is kind of more bright. She told me that when she was purchasing the home, that she, at the end of the hallway, she went into the home, she felt very warm in the home, and all of a sudden she looked down at the end of the hallway and saw her grandmother, who was also a very witchy, Christian woman. So she was like, at that moment, I knew exactly that house was mine, and that property was mine, because my grandmother came and she was there for me. So I just thought that was really nice, and that was really warm story, and I've always felt comfortable in that house. I have always felt, yes, in Appalachia, I've always felt safe in that home. And she recently actually put it in her will for us, because she's like, I don't want that going to anybody else. So I thought that was a sweet story.
Yeah, definitely.
A little less spooky, but a little nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us. You did lighten the mood a little. We needed that.
I could tell it was getting a little heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any other stories you wanted to share with us?
Oh, I have mostly Gettysburg stories, because that's my mom and dad growing up were kind of more closed off to that. So I have a lot from my grandmother, who's seen, one of her stories that kind of stands out to me is she was driving down the wind. And if the Gettysburg area, it's a winding trail. It's kind of winding up around to Fairfield, where she lives. And one time she was going through the battlefield on her way home. She was a night nurse. So she had to go kind of through this area that wasn't closed off part of the battlefield at night, but it was still had been where the battles took place. And she said she saw, again, there's this kind of typical mist kind of rolling in over the road. So she slowed way, way down. And she kind of tries to do that out of respect if she feels like a spirit is making their presence known. She's kind of slowed down and wanted to allow them to make themselves known if they wanted to. And she said she saw probably 2 to 3, probably like maybe 13-year-old boys clad in, Civil War era garb in dark blue Navy uniforms and muskets. She said she saw them clear as day walking across the road. And then they kind of walked off into the field and disappeared. And they just kind of wanted to make their presence known. But she said it was very sad. They were very young. She got the feeling that they had unfinished business and that they were these very young boys pulled into a wartime, era. Far too young. So she said that one kind of was very melancholy, but they wanted to make themselves known to her. So that one stands out to me a lot too.
Yeah, that's that is kind of sad. Yeah, I mean, we really appreciate you. I like your stories. If you want to come up some other time, definitely come back up. I think we have somebody in the box, right, Sarah?
We did. They just disappeared.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. Have you ever seen that video that's here on TikTok where someone says that they captured like, how they had like the drums and like the music to kind of accompany them marching on the field. There's a video where somebody claims that they were out in some battlefield around Gettysburg. At least I think that's where it was. Maybe it wasn't actually filmed there, but that was what the caption said. But I was curious if you ever saw that, because I always think of that video when I hear stories about that area. It was like a ghost band, basically. The drums in the distance was really creepy.
I personally have not seen that. Again, a lot of my stories come from my grandma because I am down in South Carolina now. I'm not up there anymore. We have our own spooks down here, but I really like her stories. She did tell me one time that she did see one. She didn't hear any noise, but she tends to connect with the younger spirits. And she just said she saw one kind of little drummer boy. She was, again, driving home late. She was a night nurse. And she said it was definitely a little drummer boy, kind of just off to the side of the road, kind of just standing, watching and observing. And then he was gone. And she looked over and he was gone again, so she tends to attract these, pure souls that might be lost along the way.
Yeah, that is really fascinating. Yeah, I wish it was like on. I used to be able, like when I would live stream elsewhere, I could pull up a video and share that. But that was just so cool, though. Like, it's like, I don't know, they probably staged it because it was too good to be true. But I just had to ask about that. But yeah, we appreciate you coming up. Did you have anything else you wanted to share, or?
I think that's all I got for now. Sometimes I get up on here and I'm like, my mind goes blank.
Yeah, so I do the same thing.
Right? I think that's all I got for now. But thank you guys so much.
Well,
I appreciate you.
Wait, hold on. Before you go, are you still there?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a UFO?
I have not. My mom, living in New Jersey, growing up, she grew up in a haunted house in New Jersey, which is not shocking. But she told me one time she was washing dishes, looking out the kitchen window, and she saw a, unmistakable saucer-like shape, and it kind of came in, kind of stopped right, and it was small. It was like, she's like, it's the size of not a dinner plate, but like a small little serving plate. And she said the kind of all bunch of orange lights, and it came up right to the window and looked in the window, she thought, she was like, they're inspecting what I'm doing. I'm washing dishes and they're like, what am I doing? And then she said it just kind of zipped right off into the night, way too fast too fast and too small to be any type of aircraft. And this was like, in the 80s. So they didn't have drones or anything like that. So that's her story. I have a lot of stories from other people in my family. I think the women in my family are very, sensitive to these things.
That's really awesome.
That's kind of similar to a few other stories that we've had about like small UFO type things. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I've heard those stories for so many years too. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I usually hear more about like the larger ones, like maybe out in like New Mexico and Arizona. So it's interesting to hear that there's other stories like hers. I'll have to let her know.
Yeah. All righty. Well, we appreciate you coming up, and hopefully you come back up again sometime.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
Often,
Very cool.
I wish that often the UFO sightings, they could like give a heads up in today's day and world. They're like, hello, we're going to be showing up over here. So, maybe I could just take some time and witness it and be done with this.
Right.
I'm missing a hole over here.
Yeah, I think tonight definitely was a UFO night for sure. It probably happened because of that other live. It like leaked over into ours.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I hadn't thought of that.
But I love that stuff, so I'm not complaining.
Anyone else know?
So we are about 10 minutes away from the end of the show tonight, guys. If anybody's got a short and sweet story you want to come up and throw at us, we would definitely like to hear it.
Do you want to plug
I'm dying over Two Smokes' comment. He says, I gave the finger to the zippy orange bowl. What? What does that even mean? I'm trying so hard not to laugh. I saw that a minute ago. I was like, what? Oh, holy cow.
You're awesome, Two Smokes.
Two Smokes is a wild man.
What is it?
Wild and out of control.
He's too wild for us to handle.
Just to feel it.
Oh man. Sherry, once you compose yourself, do you want to plug the subscription again?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could also do it, Chris, but yeah, I'll do it. So we have a Discord, and despite what Raven said earlier, let me tell you, Raven, I think you need to message me because I think you haven't figured out how to get off of the general page. It is very busy over there. There's like hundreds of posts in all of the other channels, but I think Raven is still on the general page. I see your crickets in there sometimes, Raven. Have you even branched out to the memes at least? Like we have a whole memes page and everything. I know. So yeah, come to the Discord. It's super fun. We do cool stuff over there. You will love it. I promise. All you gotta do is hit that little gold star. It's somewhere on the screen.
It's in the left bottom corner.
Let the gold star guide you to the magical land of Discord. We have memes, we have video chats and voice chats, and we're going to have some tarot readings. I'm going to try to do some of those this week. I think that'll be super fun.
Yeah.
And also, it's a very good way to help support the channel if you appreciate and enjoy what we do here. Nice way to just show a little support. And so you also get cool emojis that I make myself with my own two little hands. And real important here, I'm so tired, guys. I can't use my words. Everybody check out Horror Chris. He does like horror movie stuff. So if you're into horror movies, you're going to like Chris's channel. And Ollie, do you want me to throw you out there? Or are you one of those people who's like, don't follow me?
Don't follow me. I pretty much opened up my my page to questions. Anybody who has any kind of concerns, you're welcome to message me. I really don't take money. But I do want to have y'all's advice on something. Should I do like paranormal lives, like witchy lives?
You should. Absolutely.
Maybe, because it might get spooky because, see, I'm not afraid. But yeah, like y'all might want to listen in and not take care of any kind of energy. But it'd be probably nice, if somebody has like a haunting and they want some sort of like help, maybe, who knows? The Lorraine Warren in me is coming out.
Yeah, definitely. You guys should go follow Ali. He's also a businessman. He sells refrigerators door to door.
Oh, come to think of it, I need an extra refrigerator. Too many times. It's not for what y'all think it is. It's for extra stuff, like frozen stuff from Costco. I buy them both.
Yeah, right. Whatever. Just like how Dahmer had a refrigerator in his basement.
Maybe for that elk,
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh, let me just steal this from the dog man. No.
Or just catch the dog man and put him in the freezer. Like
Wouldn't
that guy in the 90s with the Bigfoot.
I got samples for days. I'm like, who wants a scientific community? Come on now.
Yeah, but no, the Discord is awesome. It's no rules over there, guys.
Yeah, it's really fun. Come over to the Discord. It's a lot of funny.
Yeah. You must be over 18.
Yes. And you must be willing to have lots of fun with us and post dank memes. That's our only requirement.
Yeah.
So, thank you all for joining us tonight. I think we're going to go ahead and call it. We got 5 minutes, but I think we're going to call it because it has been kind of a slow night here on TikTok. I think everybody is like, everybody's recovering. It must have been a tough Monday for everybody and not just me.
Yeah.
But thank you all for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Thank you all for sharing your stories. We really, really appreciate it. And don't forget, follow Chris, follow Ollie. Going to be some cool stuff on their channels, some witchy stuff and some horror movie stuff. Be sure to follow me as well. I always forget to tell you that. I've been trying lately to remember that one. Follow me. Go check out my Bracken Devil story. I have a new video posted about the Bracken Devil. It's a cool little story. Give it some attention and some shares and some hearts and some comments, all those types of things. And yeah, I think that's everything, maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, that should be good.
We will see you guys next week. We're here every Sunday and Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah, turn on post notifications so that you get notified when I go live and you'll never miss another spooky story stream. And the Holler Goblin, all hail the Holler Goblin. We'll see you next week, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, good night.